So I've mentioned before how trees tell time because you can see the path that the tree distributed the energy by looking at the branches, right? And those branches mimic veins, mimic lightning strikes, mimic rivers, mimic neurons, as above, so below, holographic reality, blah, blah, blah. So let's look at this. When I talk about conscious time travel, so the tree experiences all of these different variations, all of the energy that flowing in different ways is experienced by the tree, right? All of that draws down to the trunk, right? To the root, to the source. So let's say this is a split in the timeline, right? Let's say this is the red pill side and this is the blue pill side. And the highest reality for humanity is the red pill side, and it's up here. And maybe we can get close to the same space by taking this blue pill and taking different variations to get here, but it's still not this space. You get close to it, but it's not the same thing. So let's say there's a part of you that's experiencing this part of the timeline where it ended, right? Now, within that timeline, it's already happened, right? On a larger time frame, because this tree is still growing. So we're looking at this tree from a fifth dimensional standpoint, right? Because this tree is still growing. But you can see that this timeline, let's say it ended here. Let's say you can consciously find out about this timeline and bring that energy here, right? Before this split happens, and focus that time or focus that energy and the decisions onto this side, because you already know the results here. And even at the highest timelines on this side, you may get close, to the same space, but the potential is limited here, whereas it's more increased on this side. So looking at it outside of time, which is what we're looking at from this tree, let's say this tree is three-dimensional and it's moving in the fourth dimension of time, so it's growing, and we're looking at it from a fifth dimensional standpoint, watching all of these variations at the same time, right? So we're experiencing that as fifth dimensional beings. But if you're able to focus on the party that's already outside of time, that's witnessing this, you can see where certain variations go, where the timeline goes. There's a trajectory that this path will follow. So if you're able to realize this and bring that awareness back to the point before the time happens, you're able to alter the timeline or shift your consciousness to the one that is going to allow for higher growth. And it's crazy to try to explain the whole thing, but just looking at this tree just kind of reminded me of that. So maybe that makes sense, maybe it doesn't. Maybe we can get into it in more detail, but yeah.